Titans versus Jaguars. The winner of this matchup wins the AFC South division, plus clinches their spot in the postseason. If you're a Jaguars fan listening to this right now, can I get a Duval in the comment section? The last time the Jaguars won the AFC South, it was 2017. And we all remember what Jacksonville did in the playoffs that season, going all the way to the AFC Conference Championship game before losing a hard-fought battle to the New England Patriots. The Tennessee Titans are coming into this matchup as a 6.5-point underdog. Now, we already know that the Tennessee Titans are the last team that anybody should count out. This team has fought through a lot of adversity, plus tons of injuries, and yet they still, coming into Week 18, have an opportunity to make it into the playoffs. I think this season was a testament to how great of a coach Mike Vrabel truly is. And we already know that Mike Vrabel is one of the best coaches in the NFL. He's proven that over the last couple of years. But I really feel like this season was one of his better coaching jobs. Let's not forget, this is the same Tennessee Titans team that took the Kansas City Chiefs to overtime with Malik Willis at quarterback. Now, you're going to be starting Joshua Dobbs, and you need him to play well. The question is just how well and how consistent is he going to be in this game when it comes to throwing the football? Yes, he played well Thursday night against the Dallas Cowboys, but at the same time, you got to remember, they had recently just signed Joshua Dobbs, so the Dallas Cowboys didn't really have too much film on him. As a matter of fact, that was his first game ever starting as a quarterback in the NFL. You wonder how the Jacksonville Jaguars defense is going to game plan for Joshua Dobbs and how they're going to try to get him uncomfortable and throw him off rhythm. Now, several starters didn't play in their loss against the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to have Derrick Henry, Jeffery Simmons, and a couple of other impact starters coming back who are expected to play in this matchup. Now, you already know what the game plan is for this Tennessee Titans offense. It's Derrick Henry or bust. If they're going to win this game, Derrick Henry needs to have 30 carries and at least 120 or 130 yards on the ground and maybe 2 or 3 touchdowns. For Tennessee, your offensive line has been really bad this year. So you definitely don't want to try to put the ball on the air. Well, in the air, you definitely want to try to run the football, win up front, control time of possession, and the best way to do that is by getting Derrick Henry going. This offensive line hasn't been that great. However, the run blocking has been way better than the pass blocking. For Joshua Dobbs, I think for him, as long as you don't put too much on his plate and don't ask him to do too much, he can come in and keep you in position to potentially win this game in the fourth quarter. And that's really what the biggest question is for Tennessee in this ball game. Can they last until the fourth quarter, or will the Jaguars blow them out like how they did last time? I don't see Jacksonville beating Tennessee by a big margin. Despite the injuries that Tennessee has suffered this year, this football team is just way too tough and way too scrappy to get blown out in this big of a ball game. I think you definitely will see the Tennessee Titans play probably their best game that they've played all season. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they're trying to win this division for the first time since 2017. This city hasn't tasted success ever since. Okay, the Jaguars have been one of the hottest teams in the NFL. They're coming into this game winning 5 out of their last 6. They've had some really impressive performances at home. You remember when they came back against the Dallas Cowboys a couple of weeks ago? That kind of was the game that got everybody talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars from a national perspective. But even before that comeback victory against the Dallas Cowboys, they had another comeback against the Baltimore Ravens a couple of weeks before that game. So this is a Jacksonville Jaguars team that knows how to win at home. Plus, you have the arrival of Trevor Lawrence. The Jacksonville Jaguars are Trevor Lawrence or bust. Okay, this is really similar to the Indianapolis Colts when Andrew Luck came into the league his first couple of years with that franchise. When Andrew Luck was playing some of his best football, the Colts were a really tough team to beat, especially late in the season. For the Jacksonville Jaguars, if Trevor Lawrence plays well, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to win this game. But what impresses me the most about the Jacksonville Jaguars is, even when Trevor Lawrence plays well, it's not just him running the show. He also has a really good supporting cast. You saw what Travis Etienne did last week against the Houston Texans. You see what Zay Jones, Christian Kirk have done all season. Evan Ingram is having a career resurgence. I mean, I can't recall the last time I've seen Evan Ingram be this big of a factor in the offense since his Pro Bowl season with the New York Giants. And even then, that season wasn't all that great. I think it's fair to say that Evan Ingram is probably having the best or the second best season of his NFL career in Jacksonville. You got Zay Jones. This is an offense that, yes, it's led by Trevor Lawrence. And this team is going to... their whole performance in this game is going to stem on how their franchise quarterback in Trevor Lawrence plays. If he plays well, they're going to win. If he struggles, this could be a close game and potentially a game that Jacksonville ends up losing. And you wonder how the Jaguars are going to play being in this spot. The Jaguars are a team that haven't really played in a lot of meaningful games late in the season over the last decade or 2 decades or so. So you wonder how a young team is going to handle being in this situation. They also have a defense that's pretty good against the run. For Tennessee, you know what they're going to try to do in this game. Run the football. The game plan isn't going to be all that complicated for them. If Jacksonville can shut down Derrick Henry, there's probably a small chance Tennessee wins this game. If you're Jacksonville, although your secondary has been up and down for pretty much the whole entire season, you like your chances of Joshua Dobbs being asked to beat you, having to throw the football to win. He doesn't have a lot of chemistry or good timing with this wide receiving core, not to mention that Tennessee's receiving core hasn't really been all that great this year. So for Jacksonville, if you can make Tennessee one-dimensional and you can force the Titans to beat you with Joshua Dobbs, you feel pretty confident about your chances of winning this game. Yes, if Tennessee can get the run game going, your chances of winning this game still are pretty high, but you definitely don't want to allow the Tennessee Titans to do what they do best. You want to try to find ways to get them uncomfortable, and they definitely don't want to have to win this game throwing the football a lot with Joshua Dobbs, with him not having a lot of time in this offense and this system with these receivers. Now, if Trevor Lawrence struggles, as I said earlier, the Jacksonville Jaguars are probably going to be in for a really tough game. But not just that, but outside of their run defense, their defense hasn't really been all that reliable. They can force turnovers, but playing a team like Tennessee, turnovers are something that aren't going to come all that often if you aren't able to get them to throw the football. So if you can stop the run game and you can get Tennessee throwing the football on obvious passing situations with Josh Dobbs, then you're going to have a good chance of being able to come away with a couple of takeaways. But for the Jaguars defense, the run defense and takeaways are what makes this defense what it is. If they can't get takeaways, they're not going to be able to get too many stops if Tennessee is able to have success running the football in this matchup with Derrick Henry. The team that I'm going to take to win this game, I'm going with the Jaguars, baby. Duval. And yes, I may be a little bit biased because I am from the city of Jacksonville. It's been a while since the city has been this excited for a game of this magnitude. I think that it's going to be sold out. It's going to be an incredible atmosphere. I think the Jaguars are going to be able to get it done, even though I do question if they will cover that 6.5. I just feel this is going to be a game that Tennessee treats as their Super Bowl, and they should treat it as their Super Bowl. Same way as the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is pretty much a playoff game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And although You question how they're going to play in a game like this, not being in this situation before. I think with the Tennessee Titans having Joshua Dobbs at quarterback, I just don't see him having a lot of success consistently against his Jaguars defense. Although the secondary hasn't been great, it's just the fact that he doesn't have that much time with these receivers. So I question when are going to be the opportunities where Joshua Dobbs and these receivers miss on a couple of critical plays down the stretch. You know, maybe they end up having a missed throw due to poor timing or communication on third down. Also, the Jaguars have the better quarterback. And late in the season, the teams that have the better quarterback or the better quarterback play are normally the teams who end up winning this game. Now, Trevor Lawrence struggles. The Jacksonville Jaguars could end up being in for a dogfight. But I think that Jacksonville should pull off this win. Give me the Jags 24-14. Well, 24-20 is my final score prediction in this game. Like I said, I think Jacksonville wins this game outright, but I do think that Tennessee can keep this game close.